you'd like to achieve this look, then stay tuned as I show you a step-by-step guide on how to achieve this Kim Kardashian bridal inspired look. As always, I start off by applying a generous amount of moisturizer all over the face in downward strokes. I'm using a foundation brush to do this. I then take a dual fiber brush and load it up with some concealer. I've used the It's a Cover Up concealer palette, which is my own concealer palette from my own range, the Artist of Makeup in shade 4. I then use a light eyeshadow. I'm using Rice Paper by MAC at the inner corners of the eye, and then I use a brown shade, which is Foley by MAC, on the outer corners of the eye. I then apply an aubergine shade to the outside corners, working along the crease line and focusing mainly on the outer corners of the eye. I then use Carbon by MAC and apply it towards the crease. Using a fluffy brush, I just soften the edges to take away any harshness, and I'll later on blend in a little bit more. But initially I'll just apply the Carbon eyeshadow to the outer corners and just softly blend it out. Once I've applied the carbon on the outer corners, I use the fluffy brush to start softening the look so we eliminate any harshness and any harsh lines. So just gently with the brush, we just fluff out the eyeshadow. Just do it on both sides, again using a fluffy brush, preferably one that doesn't have any eyeshadow on, just to smooth and soften out the excess eyeshadow on the outer corners. I then use an eyeliner. This one is Smolder by MAC, using a lot of MAC products in this look. I just basically go along the outside line, lash line of the eye, and just sort of work my way from the outer corners to the inner corners, and do the same for the bottom half of the eye, but just go towards the center when it comes to the bottom half. Then just blend using just another blending brush, any fluffy dome brush will do, and just fluff out that Smolder eyeliner that we applied. And what this does is allow to give you a really nice smoky effect. The best way to do this is just using the wand, the brush, back and forth to create that nice smoky effect. I'm then using a lighter eyeshadow to act as a highlighter just on the brow bone underneath the eyebrows, preferably an eyeshadow which is matte. I then use a liquid eyeliner. This one is one of my favorites. It's Superdrug's own brand. It's Gosh. And I'm just lining the eyes from the outer corners all the way through to the inner part of the eye. So just nice, clean, straight strokes of the brush to create that really nice defined eye line. And obviously, depending on how you like to wear your eyeliner, you can have it quite slim or quite thick and winged out. Again, with the bottom, we want to create a very nice, sleek line. And now I'm just using an angled brush just to soften that eyeliner, the liquid eyeliner we just applied. Using a highlighter shade, preferably one that has a little bit of shimmer, we're now going to apply to the inner corners of the eye, and this just helps to pick up any light and reflect it back, and it gives you a very nice wide-eyed look. So I'm using the Smolder by MAC all along the inner half, all the way through the waterline, and using a disposable mascara brush, just coat the lashes from the outer lashes through to the center, through to the inner lashes. That's the best way to work when you're doing mascara on somebody else. And just repeat that on the other eye. I'm now applying the foundation using a dual fiber brush. This one is by Gemma Kid, and I'm applying it generously all over. The nice thing about a dual fiber brush is that even if you kind of pack a lot of foundation on, it does give a very nice dewy, flawless look to the foundation. Now moving on to the eyebrows. Now this look, although it's inspired by Kim Kardashian's makeup, I've obviously tried to cater it for my bride, and we don't want to go too heavy on the eyebrows, just something nice and subtle just to define her eyebrows. So just do the same, just define your eyebrows and don't go too dark, otherwise the eyebrows can dictate the look and take away from the smokiness of the eye. And now just using an eyebrow pencil, this is again a MAC eyebrow pencil, just fill in any areas which need filling up with short, small strokes. I'm now placing the eyelashes, and we just cleaned up any areas of mascara or fallout. You can see now the look is coming together quite nicely. I'm just using a nice fluffy brush just to soften out any of the foundation lines. I'm now contouring the nose with a shade by MAC called Emote. I'm not sure if they still stock this. And just hollowing out the cheeks a little bit with this Emote shade, and apply a nice blush. We've gone for a rosy pink and a peach tone. I've just highlighted the bridge of the nose to give a little bit more definition to the completed look. I'm now using HD powder by Makeup Forever, and this gives a really nice flawless finish to the makeup. It really does complete the look. I'm just using a nice natural pinky shade. I'm just lining the lips, keeping a natural lip line of the client, and then just coating that with a nice shade of lipstick. And now I'm just finishing off by dusting some of that HD powder all under the eye area, just to eliminate any crease lines. And here's your finished Kim Kardashian bridal inspired makeup look.